Pasture rotation, pasture maintenance. Very, 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 very critical. As you see, this is the main pasture that I have here, and that is the barn, and this is the main field here, as you see. And I'm able to successfully hold here, I would say, no more than 40, a flock of 40. So we're talking at least uh, 38 females and 1 to 2 rams total. But the idea is that you got to make sure that you are maintaining your field and pasture rotation. I talk about this again and again. You know, if you have good land, uh, you want to make sure that you have good pasture, but that pasture needs to be maintained. And so what I do is I go ahead and I mow the lawn because you got a lot of this stuff that grows up right here. And these are weeds. Sheep won't eat these, goats won't eat these. So they have to be mowed, and they will grow frantically. So the name of the game is to get out here, mow, and then let the grass grow, mow, and so that those seeds don't come back. And that is the why it's so important to have a good lawn mower. Man, I tell you, man, that bad boy, it just runs through this big time. But the idea is that they've been on this pasture for probably over a month now. And, you know, what I like about this situation is that, you know, even in the morning time, it's just very wet because I'm in a valley. Um, there's land over there, but it's, you know, far up in those trees. And, you know, so just pay attention to the scenery, surrounded by trees. Surrounded by trees. That's what I like about this setup. It's surrounded by trees as well. And I own property on both sides of the fence, at least 30 feet in on both sides of the fence. So that's important from a security perspective as well. But the idea is that you want to make sure that your pasture is being well maintained. I don't put any fertilizers, anything on this. I think probably next year I'll just do a lime treatment in the fall or in the spring or whenever I'm supposed to do that. But the name of the game is that the grass grows very nicely here. The flock is getting fat off of it. And what I do is that you go ahead, just mow this, put the flock into the back field, and they can stay back there for 2 weeks. And by the time the 2 weeks come, then you know the grass has grown back pretty much okay here. And then so that's why it's so important for pasture rotation. But the name of the game is just to ensure that you know, you can get everything uh, and keep everything well maintained when it comes to your pasture. Very critical aspect of homesteading. If you can't purchase land, and you know, and you don't have a pasture, I mean, you know, you do wit, but sheep, goats, chickens, and that's why people get a lot of goats, because they're foragers. They eat more leaves and stuff from the, you know, from in brush as opposed to grass. So sheep eat grass, and if you're gonna have sheep, you should definitely have a pasture. But if you're gonna have goats, you know, you can cage them bad boys in, and just, you know what I'm saying, and they can feed on leaves. I mean, I can break off a couple of these leaves, feed it to the 2 Nigerian dwarf goats that I have, and they'll be just fine with it. Sheep will eat uh, the 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 uh, the um the leaves as well, but the goats prefer it over the grass. But yeah, I mean, this is the pasture's looking very good this year, very healthy. But you got to maintain it, just like anything else. It has to be maintained because if you want to make sure that your flock is nice and healthy, you want to make sure that they can, in fact, eat good, wholesome, clean, uh, herbicide, pesticide-free grass. Yeah. All right. Shalom.